Good afternoon, everybody. I hope you guys are all doing okay. Just wanted to do a quick little storyline here, let you know we did all survive the 4th. We actually lucked out. We had rain on Thursday and Friday night, so the only time we had to put up with a mass of idiotic fireworks was Saturday night. And even then it wasn't but so bad. I mean, they were loud and obnoxious, yes, but at least they stopped by like 11 o'clock, which is good. So it wasn't an all-night affair. Everybody here is good. There's Miss Daisy, and Miss Foo Finny is in an extreme close-up mode right now. Felix is inside. We had a very hot day today, so I kept him inside for 2 reasons. One, because it's hot outside, and the heat index was very high today. There was a lot of humidity, and it was supposed to feel like somewhere around 102, I think, or 103 Fahrenheit. So I don't like them to be outside. If I can force them to stay inside when it gets that hot, I try to. If it's just hot outside, it's not that big a deal. But when they start talking about the humidity and the really high heat index, I don't want them feeling, sick or anything. And 2, unfortunately, my neighbor, one of the dorks that gave me trouble back in October, gave me trouble again this past Friday night. Which is ridiculous because there are 3 cats that go outside. 3. And, he's threatening lawsuits and stuff again, so I'm about over it with that mug. But it is okay. It's not worth a giant battle. So I'm trying to keep everybody inside as much as I can, and only let them outside, like, during the night when he's inside sleeping so that they're not bothering him. Which is what I'm trying to do. And then in the meantime, I have my coworker that has the farm. She's got some stuff going on, but I might relocate Phoebe. And as much as I love Felix, I might relocate Felix with her so she's not by herself. Because the 2 of them are outside like constantly. And this farm, they would be able to run all over the place and chase mice and have a ball, and there'll be barns that they can run in and out of, and they'll get to meet horses and donkeys and all kinds of critters that they haven't met before. I'm just hoping they don't kill her chickens. So I might have to do that. I hate to do it, but I might have to do it. Just so that they're not outside at all. And this way, they're someplace else and he can't make too much trouble. Because I gotta keep the peace. It's not worth having a neighborhood war over a few cats, and I don't want anything to happen to them, so we'll have to see. But otherwise, I do have some good news. I have got a vet appointment next week for all 5 of the babies. And somebody that I work with is in contact with somebody who's looking to adopt a kitten or 2. So I may have already even found a home for somebody. So we'll see how it goes. So depending on who the person is, she's looking into their background now. We laugh when I get somebody that's, like, can I adopt one of your cats? I'm like, sure, just give me your background, any police reports you have, your full medical history, I want to know everything about you before I let you have one of my babies. Right, Miss Foo? Extreme close-up. We're all watching you. Hope you don't freak anybody out. Some people get freaked out by that kind of thing. But, so that might be good news. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what who this person is, and I'm sure I'll get all the details tomorrow. But I just wanted to let you know that everybody is okay. Everyone is still healthy. The kittens have their very first checkup next Wednesday. And then from there, we'll discuss spaying and neutering situations. And I may have to relocate Phoebe and Felix just for their safety. And then it's time to spay Maggie and Miss Austin if I can catch them, which I think I'm going to invest in a net because I confirmed. I'm going to ask the vet because that's the one that I'll trust the most, but I have asked other people that have worked rescuing cats and stuff like that, and I've asked them, is it considered inhumane? Because I feel kind of like a creep like snagging them with a net and these giant gloves. And the one lady who used to be a vet tech, who's a friend of mine, giggled, and she says, no, that's not inhumane. It'd be inhumane if you treated them poorly, but you're doing it just to get a hold of them, to get them in the trap, because they don't fit, they won't go into the trap. They're too smart. So she's like, they're not going to be happy about it, and it's probably going to break your heart when you do it, but as long as you're not really rough with them or manhandling them, that it is not inhumane to put a net over them until you can subdue them and get them in the cage the way you need to. So I've got, Amazon has a net that's designed for raccoons, feral cats, possums, that kind of thing. So I think I'm going to get that. And then they also have these animal handling gloves that are like rawhide, super thick gloves that go all the way up to your elbow. And remembering my last encounter with Miss Austen, that will be necessary. Which is why I haven't made more of an effort to catch her than I have. Because I made that mistake about, 4 years ago, I think it was. And I almost went to the doctor. Thank God she missed me with her teeth. Because that would have led to an infection. But she shredded me pretty good to the, I almost thought I might need stitches. It was bad. She went after me bad. So, she's a sweetheart as long as you don't touch her and you don't look at her. But if you make eye contact or you touch her, God help you. And that's just the way she is. So she needs to be spayed and turned loose somewhere. I might see if somebody else knows a farm that can take her. And then Maggie is, she's not as violent as Austen. But she's definitely also a no-touchy, so she'll have to be caught with a net. And then once those two are spayed, I'm going to have to relocate them someplace else. Because going outside is no longer an option here, thanks to Bozo next door. The only one I'm not 100% sure what to do with is Blackie. He's such a sweetheart, and he's so friendly and sweet that I hate to just turn him loose. Because even though he likes to go outside a lot, he also likes to come inside a lot. So I've got to figure out something to do with him. I'm not sure what yet, but hopefully it'll all work out. We'll figure it out. But anywho, I don't even know where everybody is. I'm sorry, this is not a whole lot of cat footage. Chunky is sleeping behind me. I don't know if I can get the poof of the Chunkmeister. But yeah, he's dozing off. Everybody ate, so they're in nappy time now. Here's Mr. Felix. What you doing, handsome? You don't come and see us very often. You have excessively sharp claws, so I'm always extra cautious when you're here. Yeah. Cutting Felix's nails is not an option, unless you want to be skinned alive. So. But that's where we are. So we survived the 4th. Everything is okay. I did have a very nice day. I had a nice cookout over at my mother and my sister's house. We used to have a very, very big family. And it made me remember the days when I was a kid. And we used to go, I grew up in Long Island, New York. And it was my mother's cousins that we used to go to their house. I think they lived outside of Queens somewhere. We were out in Suffolk County. And we used to have 4th of July barbecues at their place. And I remember, I don't know if you're old enough to remember, the rest of you, my fellow Gen X people out there, but if you remember the metal garbage cans with the lids on them, the trash cans, and they were like these big, I don't even know if they were made of aluminum. I think they were aluminum. Metal trash cans. And those things would get like the absolute hell beaten out of them by the garbage people up in New York, But we had these big metal trash cans, and I can remember what they used to do is they would buy new metal trash cans. So, of course, it wasn't ones that they used for the trash, but these big trash cans, and they would fill them with ice. And they would literally just like empty cartons of soda cans in there. So, well, hi, Mr. Toes. There's Toes coming around. So there would be this metal trash can. Of course, I was a little kid, so it was like bigger than me. And it would be filled with, Coca-Cola or Pepsi or Sprite or grape soda, or cream soda or orange soda, all kinds of different stuff. And one of my fondest memories was my sister, my big sister, would always be willing to dive to the bottom of that giant garbage can when it was almost empty to get me the last root beer, because I love root beer. That's like my favorite. And my poor sister, bless her heart, would go in and get like damn near hypothermia reaching to the bottom of that trash can to get me the last can of root beer so her little sister could have root beer. My sister's awesome. I love her. But yeah, so it just fun memories like that. And we used to play a game called Ghost in the Graveyard. I don't know if you guys ever played anything. It's basically tag at night. And a lot of times I was too little, but I got to at least sit and watch everybody else play. And it's kind of like hide and go seek mixed with tag, but you do it at night. So it's dark, so nobody really knows where anybody is. And of course, that was back in the 1980s, so there were no cell phones. There was no lights. There was nothing, unless you had a little flashlight on you, that was it. And it was just everybody running around, hiding, playing tag. So it was called Ghost in the Graveyard. So whoever was the ghost in the graveyard, and you had to try to find everybody else. And when you found somebody else, you tagged them, then they became a ghost with you. And I think was how it worked. And then you all run around until everybody was found. So it was interesting. But anyhow, sorry, random trip down memory lane. Sorry about that. But me and my babbling. Because I do babble a lot. My coworkers tell me that all the time. I'll be explaining something and they're like, is this story going to end anytime soon? And I'm like, well, okay, screw you too. When you come wanting a full explanation of how this computer system works, don't ask me then. Because I can't give simple answers. I babble. Especially if it's teaching somebody something. They're like, can you explain this to us? And I'll be like, well, let me drag out the whiteboard and the pointing stick, and I'll start my presentation, people just roll their eyes. And I'm like, yeah, shut up. But anyhow, so I hope everybody out there had a good 4th. Hope you guys are all doing okay. It's going to be hot as hell for a while there. Any of you guys that might be out in Texas, I hope you're all right. I know that hurricane, tropical storm, whatever it was by the time it got to you guys, Beryl, I think was his name, looked like a real bastard of a storm. So I hope you guys are all okay. It's not so much the storm itself that I think is bad. It's the fact that when you guys lose power down there, it's like 100 degrees with 100% humidity, which has got to be absolutely freaking miserable. You couldn't pay me to live in the deep south. Like, ugh. I don't know how you guys do it. So I'm just hoping you're not dealing with that. So I hope everybody has a good rest of the week. And I'll probably check in with everybody again either this weekend or maybe after the kittens have their appointment. I might do a quick video when I come home before I go into work after that, because I can't take the camera into the vet. They don't allow filming in the vets around here, which makes sense. So, but anyhow, that's about what it is. So we will see you guys soon. Hope everybody does okay. All right, bye-bye.